If you're thinking of selling your house, don't go any further until you've watched this video series, where I'm going to share with you strategies used by successful realtors all over the country to sell homes. Let's get started. Welcome to this first of 12 videos in my seller education series, where I aim to help homeowners who are thinking about or planning to sell their house to do so in the most effective way possible. At some point, most home sellers will at least consider the option of selling their homes for sale by owner, or FSBO, often pronounced FSBO. So I thought it would make sense to start with a video that investigates the advantages and disadvantages of that approach. So we'll look at the pros and cons of selling FSBO, and we'll conclude with some eye-opening information regarding the differences between FSBO sale prices and the sale prices of homes that are represented by real estate agents. So make sure you watch the video all the way through because you don't want to miss that information. Let's start with the advantages of selling your home FSBO. By far, the most common reason that sellers will use to sell their home by themselves without the use of a real estate agent is to save on that 5 to 6% commission that they'll be charged for their services. And that can represent thousands of dollars that they can now keep from the sale of their home. But there's more to that story, as I mentioned before, when we get into the differences in sale prices between FSBOs and realtor represented properties. So although it is true you can save thousands of dollars in commissions, to get the whole story on that factor, make sure you stay till the end of the video. Another reason that homeowners will consider selling their home FSBO is that they have full control of the process, from setting the price, scheduling showings, negotiating directly with the buyer, and all the other steps involved without having to working with any middleman. The third most common reason that home sellers will consider selling their home FSBO is their personal knowledge of their property. They feel they know the best characteristics and the attractive qualities of their property better than anybody else. So who better to control the marketing and presentation of their property than the homeowner? Okay, next we're going to start looking at some of the disadvantages of selling your home FSBO as opposed to hiring a real estate agent to represent you. The first of those drawbacks of selling your home FSBO is limited exposure. Real estate agents have access to the MLS. They also have broad personal and professional networks through which they can spread the word about your listing. They also have experience and understanding of the marketing techniques that work best in getting homes sold quickly and for the highest price. FSBO sellers also lack the pricing expertise that realtors have. Realtors have knowledge of how to use market data to set an appropriate sales price for your house. Pricing it too high or pricing it too low can both be disastrous in the sale of your home. Another disadvantage of selling your home FSBO is the time and effort involved. FSBO sellers will have to handle all the inquiries, schedule all the showings, negotiate with buyers, and handle all the interactions with other professionals like inspectors and appraisers, all of which can be overwhelming. Another concern of FSBO sellers are legal implications. Real estate transactions involve legal contracts and documentation. Without a pro guiding you along the way, you could miss important steps or forms, or follow procedures incorrectly, which can expose you to potential risk and legal problems. Real estate agents are skilled and often formally trained negotiators who can handle the emotional aspects of a sale objectively. FSBO sellers lack this experience and training and may not be able to negotiate effectively, which can result in not getting the best deal. Yet another drawback of selling FSBO is the perception that some buyers have of a FSBO property and its seller. Many buyers look at a FSBO property as being somehow deficient or the seller difficult to work with, and that's why they're not working with a real estate agent. Even if they're not concerned or hesitant to work with a FSBO seller, buyers will often go into a FSBO transaction looking for a really low, what we call low ball price. And they feel that's justified because the seller's not paying a commission, and so they should sell their home for a lower price. All right, let's get back to that topic on saving on the cost of commission, which is the main reason that most people sell their home FSBO or consider selling their home FSBO. It's important for you to have the facts on sale prices of homes sold by a FSBO approach and those being sold represented by an agent. There is a significant difference, and that affects the bottom line and tells the true story of the cost savings that people are looking for when they choose to go FSBO. According to the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, there is a historical trend of FSBO sales prices lagging behind the prices of homes sold using a realtor. And this difference is significant. Let's take a look at 2020 for an example. In that year, the median sale price of homes sold using a realtor was $280,000. In that same year, the median sale price for FSBO homes was $217,900. That's a significant difference of $62,100. That difference is the equivalent of 28.5% of the actual FSBO sale price. So these sellers avoided a commission on the high end of about 6% of $280,000, but they lost out on 28.5% of their actual sale price of $217,900. Or to put that in dollars, they avoided $16,800 in commissions, but lost out on $62,100 on the sale price of their home. So the net effect of not using a realtor caused them to lose $43,500 that could have been in their pocket. I'd also like to point out that I'm only talking about commission costs here. The loss of profit by FSBO sellers would be even higher if they attempted to market the property using the methods of a good real estate agent, which is the topic of another video. Here are those same numbers for 2021 and 2022. In 21, the median sale price for homes represented by agents was $318,000. For FSBO sellers, it was $260,000. That's a loss of $58,000. If you take the savings and commission off that of $19,080, the net loss for those FSBO sellers was still $38,920. And in 2022, it gets even worse. The median sale price for realtor represented homes was $345,000. For FSBO sellers, $225,000, for a difference of $120,000. The commission saved by those sellers was $20,700. So their net loss by selling their home by themselves instead of using a realtor was $99,300. If you go back to the historical records of home sales prior to 2020, this trend continues. There is a historical record of FSBO sales selling significantly less than realtor sold homes. Okay, let's summarize what we've learned in this video. The advantages of selling your home FSBO are that at first there are some cost savings in the form of some commission. You have complete control over the process, and you have a better personal knowledge of your property than anybody else does. There are, however, numerous drawbacks with selling FSBO. The most significant drawback is related to the reality of the cost savings that FSBO sellers are hoping to get by avoiding realtor commissions. The significantly lower median price of historical FSBO sales show that those sellers actually give up significant profit. Then there are the other drawbacks we discussed: limited marketing exposure, lack of pricing expertise, the time and effort needed, legal implications, negotiation inexperience of FSBO sellers, and finally, the perception that many buyers have about FSBO sellers and their homes. So before you decide to sell FSBO, carefully consider the pros and cons that I presented in this video. You should strongly consider talking to a real estate professional. They can provide valuable insights and assistance, potentially leading to a smoother and more successful sale. For even more information on topics related to selling your home, I've included links to my webpage and other resources in the video description. Thanks for watching and take care.